Hello, my name is Jeremy Chara, and I want to welcome you to the CCNA Collaboration Series. CCNA Collaboration is Cisco's latest brainchild to put together CCNA voice and video concepts into one certification. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, what are they doing? Voice and video are so different. And as I'm having this thought, CBT Nuggets emails me and they're like, dude, check this out. Look what we got in our building in Eugene, our brand new building. They get these little robots. I'm serious. So let me show this to you. I'm going to beam into one of the robots. This is literally a voice and video session. Let me make sure I'm not going to be yelling at the CBT Nuggets office. Sitting on little teleconference units in the break room. Look at this thing. It's like I'm controlling a video game where I can walk around. Yeah, they at CBT Nuggets in Eugene, this is what their day is comprised of. But I can actually literally walk around the office using this telepresence unit, and then I look back at the email from Cisco saying we are combining voice and video together into a CCNA collaboration. And I go, got it. Now, if you had already started going down the road of CCNA voice or CCNA video, I'd highly suggest checking out Cisco's exam migration tool, because you may not have to take all the exams to get the CCNA or CCNP collaboration. But as it stands right now, I'm sitting here in the middle of June 2015. This is the requirements, essentially 2 exams to get the CCNA collaboration. There are no prerequisites, so you don't have to have, even though I'd highly recommend doing it, a CCENT or CCNA for routing and switching before you dive into this series. Now, as I mentioned, I'm in the middle of June 2015, and this is a brand new certification, as in there's no material out there at all for it except for this guy right here. So that's where we're going to begin. Matter of fact, if you go to the Cisco website and just Google CCNA collaboration, it's going to take you right here. And you click around, you're going to see here are the resources that we recommend. Now this one links directly to the Cisco Learning Store, where they will give you a essentially PDF document for mere $395 that when you get, you'll probably feel very sad about, because you would be thinking, man, I could have gotten 4 months of full access to everything that CBT Nuggets has to offer, and I feel very sad right now. So what I did is I thought, man, how about we start right there? And instead of having you read a PDF that will probably kill your entire motivation to get CCNA collaboration certified, as well as do anything with Cisco ever in the future, I'm going to take that bullet for you and convert this PDF document. I'm sorry, there's no other way I can say it. I fell asleep on the desk, and I still have lines on my head because I fell asleep on a pile of pens reading this PDF document. I'm going to take the bullet for you and convert that material into something that's a little more dynamic and easier to digest. Welcome to CIVND1. Now, you're not going to be able to go out and pass the CIVND exam just based on this material. I'm going to go into production on part 2, as well as this material as soon as it's available, which should be within the next couple months. So here are my recommendations on how you can get the most from this series. First off, go through it a few times. Repetition, repetition, repetition. You will remember 10% of the stuff that you hear 3 months from now. So just audibly hearing the information one time will give you a 10% retention in 3 months. So engage multiple modalities. First off, go through it a couple times, but then take notes. And literally, I know this sounds old school, but there's this thing. I've actually got one sitting right here. Any guesses what that is? You got it. It is a pen. And there's this thing that's called paper from trees. I know the younger generation may not know what I'm talking about, but essentially if you take that pen and the paper and put it beside you, as you go and literally have your hand, not your thumbs or your fingers, but your hand writing words that come out of my mouth or that you see on the slide, it will help you remember that. I mean, literally create a bullet list. And I know paper sounds old school, but there's something that happens. Sometimes I'll have a Word document beside me as I'm typing things up, but there is something that happens when you write it down that just sticks it in your head a little bit more. I mean, write it down and then scan it or type it a little bit later. Maybe there'll be a second way, a second modality of getting that in there, but highly recommend that. Dig deeper. Google searches, forums. You are about to dive into a world of video. Resolutions, pixels, stuff like that essentially as you go through you're going to be like, oh, well that's kind of interesting as I'm hitting a few of the high points, but by no means is this course going to cover every single thing about video that exists. There is a whole realm of career that you can go into the video world. So if there's something that you're like, oh man, that's interesting, I want to go a little bit deeper into that, do it. Go online and do some searches for that. And I would say highly recommend focusing on the why behind things. We live in such a practical world where we are after the results as fast as possible, and that will be the biggest failure in your technology career that you could have. There is one class of technician I'll throw out there that there's a spider on my keyboard. There's a die. I'm in Arizona. We don't have bugs. They all cook out here. So to see a bug is kind of like a, oh wow. What was I talking about? There's a whole class of technicians that will go out into the world and just Google what they need to solve the problem. Like, oh man, I've got errors coming on in this port. How do I resolve errors? And they'll go to a forum. And it'll say, oh, you need to type this command, and it's in bold. And they go to the device and they type in duplex full, and they hit the enter key, and all of a sudden the errors go away, and they're like, whew, glad I fixed that. I'm going to go on a break. And they have no idea why duplex full fixed the issue. It's just a command they saw in bold and they typed it in. That is one class of technician, and I will tell you, you will never have the passion or the success you are looking for in IT if that's where you stay, because there's a whole lot of those people that have no idea what they're doing, but they sure can Google and type things in that they see in bold. There's a whole nother class of technician who types that in and is like, all right, awesome, it resolved the issue. What is, and I know some of you are like, well, I know what the duplex full command, and that's awesome, but there's a whole realm of things where you're going to get into. You're going to be like, why is that? It's when you discover the why behind things that you truly fall in love with this technology, to where you're like, I get it. And if you can say that, it puts you in a whole different class of technician than the people who can just Google and type something in bold. And I'm not... and let me just first off say, I've been there when the network's down, everybody's screaming, and you're like, Cisco TAC, just tell me what to type. They're screaming at me, and they'll tell you what to type and it fixes it. But don't stop there. Just keep going, because that's where you really find the why, and that's where you gain a passion for IT. It doesn't become mysterious. People love what they know. Have you ever wondered why Cisco spends millions of dollars creating $400 PDF documents. I shouldn't say that. They've spent millions of dollars creating certification programs and exams and material, and they have entire staffs working at the Cisco learning program and stuff like that. Why do they pay all these people just to go out and say, here's how it really works? Think about that. Because if you love the technology, if you know the why behind it, you're always going to buy something Cisco. So my friends, welcome to CCNA Collaboration. I hope this journey is going to be as satisfying for you as it was for me. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.